Hi, good evening. This is Shane Hoffman with the Presidential Primary Committee. I am here today interviewing one of our candidates for the American Solidarity Party nomination for President of the United States, Mr. Michael Vick. Do you prefer to be addressed as Mike or Michael?
Either one is fine, because as long as you don't call me late to dinner.
Perfect. All right, Mike, today we just want to learn a little bit more about you, get a little information out to people before the debates, before any other interviews. So I will go ahead and jump right in. First question is, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to find and join the ASP.
Sure. So I graduated from the University of San Francisco, uh, a political science major with a journalism minor. I spent 10 years as a journalist. My first job out of college was as a reporter for Catholic San Francisco newspaper, which is a mid-size weekly paper that is the official archdiocesan newspaper of the Archdiocese of San Francisco. And then I worked behind the scenes in production work for a TV news station, a local NBC affiliate in Kentucky, and worked there as an associate producer and as a web editor. Then I spent some time at seminary at the Southern Baptist Theological Seminary, and then got into political work, and I've been doing that since 2016. I worked for SEIU, for Working America, which is a AFL-CIO affiliate, and worked again for SEIU doing electoral work in Indiana for John Gregg. And then I worked for Greenpeace, and I spent some time working for the Indiana Democratic Party. And then I worked for Citizens Action Coalition, which is Indiana's largest consumer advocacy group, specializing in utility policy, energy policy, making sure that we're moving toward green renewable energy in the state, and working to keep utility rates low for consumers. And then spent some time when I moved back here to Illinois, working as the political director for Pastor Chris Butler, who was a ASP endorsed candidate running in the Democratic primary here in Illinois for the congressional race in District 1. And still working with Pastor Chris as the editor of the Civic Update, which is a weekly newsletter aimed at the audience of the Ann campaign, Chicago, and work with him as I said, as an editor, and a columnist for that weekly paper, which you can find at thecivicupdate.com. I found out about ASP when I was running for state rep in Indiana. I believe I am the only nominee of a major political party to have endorsed Brian Carroll and Amar Patel in 2020. And so I've been involved in ASP ever since.
Excellent. That's quite a background. Now, we know you've been active with the ASP since you've joined. Can you tell us a little bit about your involvement in ASP over the time since then?
Sure. So I was very briefly the chair of the Indiana State Committee. I now serve as an at-large member of the leadership team here in Illinois. I ran for delegate in 2021. Didn't quite make that, but I did become a delegate to the National Convention last year. Was very happy to be involved in that way. I was also served as the party's development director, which I was involved in fundraising at the national level, and was very happy to have been involved in that way up until the point where I started running for president. So folks may have seen emails from me about that. I was involved, as I said, in fundraising for the party. And I was also, am also the co-founder of the Liberation Caucus of the American Solidarity Party, which is an affinity group working to bring folks into the party from the left.
All right. So, with all that, can you tell us what made you decide that you wanted to run for president?
Sure. So, part of the work that I was doing very early on in the presidential primary committee, because I had electoral experience, I wanted to look for a candidate for president. And, I was involved in that process very early on. Had some trouble finding a candidate who would run. And the more I thought about it, the more I considered that, I really wanted to step up myself. I feel like I have the requisite experience in political work, fundraising work, communications work, and I, have run for office before. I very much enjoyed doing that. Very much enjoyed electoral work in politics. So it felt like a good fit for sure.
Right. Now, what we see from the other parties quite frequently is that they tend to work on tearing each other down in order to put themselves forward. Uh, in the ASP, we work a little different. Let's go ahead. My next question is, what do you feel makes you, Mike Vick, best suited to represent the party on the national stage?
Sure. So, I feel like, I have, as I mentioned, quite a bit of experience at the electoral level. I ran for office myself. I've been involved in political campaigns since before I could vote. I've done professional political work. I worked on a senatorial campaign. I worked on a congressional campaign. I've been a volunteer on presidential campaigns as well. And so, I have that background. That's my vocation is political work. And so I felt like I had the requisite experience to make a good go of it. Also have quite a bit of organizing experience. I have done that work for unions and in the electoral sphere as well. And I have fundraising experience, which I feel is definitely of a benefit to the presidential campaign.
All right, last question for the evening here. What would you like to say to the people watching from the outside who aren't members yet, but could still join the party in time to vote for you on May 24th?
Sure. So joining the party is super easy to do. It's something that I was involved in getting folks to do when I worked as the development director. All you got to do is just head to our website and click the link to join the party. Very simple process, and getting involved this year. Not only do you have an opportunity to vote for the presidential campaign, but you also have an opportunity to get involved either by running for delegate to our national convention, which will be a platform year convention, or also voting for delegates to that convention. And you have an opportunity to shape the party going forward. We've got a great party. We are the only consistent life ethic party in the country. And so, I feel like if that's your politics, take a look at what we represent. And I think that you'll see that we represent something very unique on the political stage here. And we have an opportunity to take the next step forward in our journey as a political party.
All right. Well, thank you, Mike. And I look forward to talking to you more as we get into the debates and the other things we have going on in the next, 4 to 6 weeks. And I wish you all the best as we move ahead.
Absolutely.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Shane. Thank you.